Welcome to the Free Truth Show.
And it would take an attorney general from one of the states to file criminal charges. And are there any that have that kind of guts? Because they know there's a good chance that they or their family may be murdered. I mean, these people are assassins. They're crazy.
Yeah.
They kill people out of hand.
Yeah.
I know. I used to work for them. I know what they do.
Right. Well, actually, there's a bit of a suspicious incident today. It's my thoughts go out to the family, obviously, and I'm not suggesting it, but one of the fishermen that was helping out with the cleanup on the boat that made a few comments has been found with a bullet in his head, and he was only as upset as his other crewmates. He was no more upset than his other companions at the time, and everyone seemed a bit surprised that he took his life so suddenly. So there may be something in that.
Let me tell you something. It is very common.
Right.
And I just got a letter. I talked about in the last issue the resignation of the military officer in Afghanistan. And he was the one who was complicit in covering up the murder of Pat Tillman. And Tillman was a very famous football player. It says, "No, I love my country. I think what they're doing over there in Iraq and Afghanistan is good. I'm going to go help them." And he went over there and he found out what was going on. Like everybody's guarding the poppies so that the CIA and MI6 can make piles of money, like $300 billion a year. Now, and incidentally, now they're the biggest marijuana producer in the world. And he was going to speak out on this. He was going to speak out on this, and he was murdered. And this subscriber of mine was at a seminar. He's a pathologist. And I hope he'll allow me to put this in my Saturday letter. He talked to the military person, a doctor, who ran the pathologist for the Air Force where all of the bodies went to. Yeah. And the man that was speaking from the military brought up Tillman's death. So this doctor went to him after he spoke and he said, "Can you tell me how he died?" He said it was very unusual. He was shot several times in the back of the head. And the doctor said to the doctor, "Can you discuss it any further?" And he said, "No." He was murdered out of hand.
Right. It's a climate.
Now that's the kind of government that the United States and Great Britain have, and it's been like that for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have a question from Walking Turtle, who does Saturday nights on this subject. She would like to ask. We'd like to ask Bob Chapman. He's our guest from the International Forecaster. If he has an opinion on the Gulf event being a smokescreen for more serious events going on around the world, such as Obama's implementation by executive order establishing the National Prevention, Health Promotion and Public Health Council, an order which opens the door to Codex Alimentarius and also the current military build-up in northern Iran by the US and Israel. And the Israel's
answer is yes.
Satellite.
We've had that information in the forecaster, and the answer is yes. And also I mentioned the carbon tax and cap and trade, and who knows how many other things. And we also followed the executive order, which have to be done away with, incidentally. The executive order, which allowed the implementation of the alimentarius, which I've been writing about for over 20 years.
Yeah,
I can remember, with the exception of some health food magazines, I was the only newsletter writer writing about it.
Mm-hmm. You could see the danger of this coming.
Certainly could.
Yeah.
And, she's absolutely correct. And, I don't sit around at night dreaming this stuff up. I'm 75 years old. I don't need any money because where I'm going, eventually, they don't have money. And so I have no financial interest whatsoever. I'm trying to let the people know exactly what's being done to them and who's doing it.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue to do that until I can't do it anymore.
In plain and simple terms, too. Yeah. Yeah. The people must be warned. And people wake up exponentially. One person wakes up and mentions it to another person who might tell 10 people, and that 10 people might tell 1,000 people. But the other reason behind why we think, well, we know that BP and the bankers were complicit in and had intent for this, is that BP is heavily involved in promoting carbon tax, investing billions in green energy, and as BP itself called for a global governance. So there's a lot to gain from outlining the dangers of climate change and the implementation of carbon tax. I mean, they just say, look at this mess, we've got to control this, this is how we do it. Problem, reaction, solution.
It's nothing but a front for the Illuminati. Plain and simple.
Okay. The Australian PM, the new Australian Prime Minister, is a woman. That's the main big story. What the articles are failing to sort of come across to go into is the fact that the Australian PM had to stand down, and she's a replacement because he was a bit overzealous with his CO2 sort of failed global warming ambitions, and
the taxing of mining companies.
Oh, right. Oh, I didn't know that. Right, I see.
Yeah, and he's gone, and she better straighten her act out because she was his assistant, so to speak. And if she starts with the same foolishness, she'll get fired out just like she was sitting in the mouth of a cannon. Yeah. The Aussies are sick of this stuff. We cover Australia very, very well. We have a reporter there who feeds us every day, as well as New Zealand, just like we have in Europe and the UK and all over the place.
Well, the carbon tax is their global funding mechanism. One thing I noticed that Alex Jones does say, he identifies this global warming scam, Copenhagen, carbon tax, carbon footprints, as the main chink in their armor. They're the one way we can make a serious dent in their world order that they're planning. And do you see it that way?
That's right. Absolutely. They want to use it as a backup for SDRs. And the SDRs are worthless because they have no backing. So the backing is going to be the taxes that come from the carbon taxes. They have no gold or silver or anything worthwhile backing the SDR, which was a total failure. You know, I've been doing this for 50 years, and I got a heck of a good memory.
Right.
And it was 1967, 68, 69. They tried doing SDRs, and they were a total failure.
That is the global funding mechanism. So they've tried it before, and they're trying it again. I mean, we know the Club of Rome got together in the late 60s and decided that there was too many of us, and the best way to implement depopulation was to come up with a massive hoax that the Earth is warming up and it's our fault, and so is the debt problem our fault. And it's been that way for a long time. They've had this in mind.
Yeah, well, somebody blew the whistle on them, because I covered it very extensively, particularly on radio in the United States and internationally as well, but particularly in the U.S. And when that information came out that global warming was a hoax, it must have absolutely disemboweled the Illuminists, because it just blew up 30 or 40 years of work.
Well, I've never seen Alex Jones popping champagne on the air, you know. That was, to me, a good indication of how important that dent was in the with the ClimateGate emails, you know. Hats off to whoever that did. If they're listening, we love you. It was beautiful, you know.
Well, I suspicion it was the Russians.